I haven't had a ton of experience with it. My hope with relaunching, I was with a different company before, and then I relaunched a few years ago as Part-Time Comics on my own. My hope was to get some things published. That is definitely a goal of mine. I would like to be under a publishing house. I would love to see, that for my career. But I have found it's not gotten much better in the last, I took a few years off and came back. The few times I've been offered, I did feel like the language in the contract was very favorable for the publisher, which is fine. I think if you're entering into a partnership together, you know what, you should agree on what everyone's going to benefit. Everyone should benefit together. If they're helping you get your book out there and they're doing hard work behind the scenes and they're getting into diamond, of course they should. But when the language is like, ownership in perpetuity and, you ask for minor changes and they are upset about it or don't really want to have a conversation or don't even, everybody's busy and I get that, but really haven't even had a conversation with you by phone or in person to talk about it, just kind of gives you a bad vibe that they're just like, okay, I read your pitch. I'm ready to publish your book. And there's no discussion about like the schedule. It's just been a very weird thing. And I've heard this from a lot of other people behind the scenes. Again, no names, people can keep their own information, but a lot of these publishing houses are like that. They want to suck up your IP, it seems like, and get some benefit from it, hope it gets picked up, and then they get the rights, partial rights to it.
Do you think that it's a comic play with the IP, or do you think it's more along the lines that they want to pick something up and then either sell it to Hollywood or sell it to Disney or sell it to Hulu? Because what I'm viewing,
it feels like that to me from what my peers I've talked to, close peers who've had contracts, the contracts I've read myself, which again are very few. I want to be honest about that. It does feel like that. Like they want enough IP under their name that if one or two hits, they're good, right? Even if they get a percentage of it. And oftentimes in the contract, it's a large percentage when they're not, again, they're the publishing house, right? They're not really advising. They're not providing editors. They're not giving, most of them don't give any money at $0 up front. You pay for all printing costs. So the risk isn't really on them, although they're paying, in advance. The cost will come back to the creator. So it's the ones I've seen are just, very disappointing. But again, it's still a goal of mine. I don't want to trash the industry in general. I'm sure there's good ones out there. But from what I'm hearing from, my close peers, it's just not a good landscape for comics. And you're talking tomorrow, so I won't take the topic away, but I think ownership is important because in so many other industries, the avenue to get your work out there in music, TV, film is so controlled. You would have no control over it. In comics, you can't. At least in comics, you can. Like I own this book 100% with Dan. We split it. Okay, why am I going to give that away freely without some assurance that I would benefit from it long term?